So in this slideshow, we're looking at shifting the long run aggregate supply curve. So before you watch this, you need to have watched the slideshow on the long run aggregate supply curves, because there's two different long run aggregate supply curves, which I explain in that previous slideshow, and also the slideshow on shifting the short run aggregate supply curve. So just as a quick recap, the difference between short run and long run. Short run is where at least one factor of production is fixed. Remembering your factors of production are land, labour, capital, enterprise. So usually it would be the factory that is fixed. You can't move to a bigger factory in this short run, but in the long run you can. So the long run, all factors are variable. So shifting the long run aggregate supply curve to the right is equivalent to shifting your production possibility curve to the right. A shift to the right of the long run aggregate supply curve means that you have increased the productive capacity of the economy, or you've increased your maximum potential output. And that's exactly what happens when you shift the production possibility curve to the right. So what that means is that anything that shifts the production possibility curve to the right will also shift the long run aggregate supply curve to the right. So this is what they look like. So on the left, you've got your monetarist, or sometimes called classical or neoclassical. So you can see the shift to the right there. On the right, you've got your Keynesian long run aggregate supply curve, and that's how a shift to the right looks for the Keynesian long run aggregate supply curve. So the difference between long run and short run shifts. So in the short run, you remember from the previous slideshow, that's when the costs of production change. So your wages change, your raw materials change, your electricity prices change. So when your costs of production change, that's shifting the short run aggregate supply curve. And in the long run, it's when there are changes to the factors of production. So changes to land, labour, capital. So just as with the production possibility curve, we say that if there's an increase in the quantity or quality of the factors of production, then we'll shift the long run aggregate supply curve to the right, or we'll shift the production possibility curve to the right. So let's have a look at some of those factors. Education and training. So your workforce becomes more productive after they've been trained, after they've had better education. So the maximum potential output will increase. They're able to do more in a day or in a period of time. Increased immigration means that you've got more workers. So that's increased the quantity of labour. You've got more workers. Improvements in healthcare. So better healthcare means that your workers are less likely to be off sick, and when your workers are at work, they're going to be healthy and they're going to be more productive. Improved technology. So again, that means you're going to increase your maximum potential output because your improved technology might be faster. So you might be able to produce more in a given time period. Or more technology. So just buying more machinery means that you can increase your maximum potential output. So for example, in Tesco's with your self-scanners, you can get more customers through the door because people are scanning themselves, scanning the shopping themselves, and that means you can serve more customers, so essentially their maximum potential output is increased. But in a factory, it's the same kind of principle. If you've got more machinery that replaces workers, then you can generally get more done. You can increase your output. Shifting the long run aggregate supply curve to the left is not something that anyone would aim to do because it's showing a reduction in the maximum potential output, and no economy would want to do that. So it's not desirable. It's equivalent to shifting your production possibility curve inwards. So things like war, natural disasters, machinery wearing out, breaking down, etc. So they will shift the long run aggregate supply curve to the left.